Snow falls relentlessly, transforming the castle courtyard into a serene, white expanse. At a frost-covered window, Queen Isolde's delicate profile is framed against the winter landscape, her beauty stark against the snow. In her slender hands, a needle dances, meticulously bringing vibrant summer flowers to life on a tapestry. The contrast of the warm, blossoming embroidery against the cold, harsh winter hints at a longing for brighter days. Inside Queen Isolde's chamber, the silence is broken only by the soft rustle of linen. A close-up reveals Isolde's delicate hand as a needle pierces her skin. A single crimson drop wells, staining the pristine white fabric. The blood blooms like a rose, a poignant symbol against the stark background. Isolde stares with a wistful gaze, her expression a mixture of sorrow and longing as she contemplates the sacrifice. In Queen Isolde's chamber, shadows dance around the edges of the room, reflecting the deep sorrow within. Visibly weakened, Isolde cradles baby Snow White, her touch feather-light, her strength waning with each passing moment. King Alaric stands beside his queen, his regal bearing faltering under the weight of profound grief. Isolde's gaze softens as she looks at her child, a bittersweet moment of maternal love amidst despair. Her skin, like snow, Isolde whispers, her voice a fragile echo in the silent chamber. The weight of unspoken fears and uncertain futures hangs heavy in the air, a palpable shroud of sorrow. Years have passed, casting somber lines upon King Alaric's face as he stands in the grand throne room. Beside him stands Queen Morelle, her beauty undeniable, yet an icy aura radiates from her, chilling the opulent surroundings. Before them, a lavish wedding ceremony unfolds, a stark contrast to the unspoken tensions between the royal couple. The throne room gleams with gold and finery, yet the air is heavy with unspoken secrets and hidden agendas. The wedding proceeds, a spectacle of forced joy masking the underlying chill of the queen's presence and the king's quiet sorrow. Velvet whispers in the dim candlelight as Queen Morelle stands before an ornate mirror, her silhouette framed by shadows. The candlelight flickers across Morelle's face as she gazes into the mirror, a glimmer of something dark in her eyes. Her voice echoes softly in the chamber as she utters the fateful question. Mirror, mirror, on the wall, who is the fairest of them all? A spectral voice answers, seemingly emanating from the depths of the glass. You, my queen, are fairest of all. The mirror replies, its words hanging heavy in the air. In the sun-drenched castle gardens, Snow White's radiant beauty shines as she delicately tends to the vibrant flowers. Her youthful grace captivates, each movement a dance of gentle care amidst the blossoms. Whispers of admiration follow her as servants pass, their eyes drawn to her ethereal presence. Bathed in sunlight, she is the heart of the garden, a vision of serene beauty and quiet strength. In the dimness of her vast chamber, Queen Morelle pauses before an ornate mirror, its surface gleaming with secrets. Her voice echoes in the stillness as she breaks the silence, unaware of the unseen forces stirring around her. The mirror ripples, a dark omen in the reflective glass, as a voice echoes, Snow White, my queen, is now the fairest. The revelation strikes Morelle like a physical blow, her face contorting with a primal, consuming rage. Her eyes blaze with furious intent, the chamber's shadows seeming to deepen around her as she plots her revenge. In the castle dungeon, Queen Morelle sits upon a rough stone throne, her velvet gown a stark contrast to the damp, cold air. Flickering torches cast long, dancing shadows across the stone walls, illuminating the grim scene. Gareth, a rugged huntsman, stands before her, his face a mask of grim understanding. Queen Morelle gestures with a regal hand, her command cutting through the silence. Take her into the Whispering Woods, she orders, her voice echoing in the cavernous space. Do what must be done. Bring me proof, the queen demands, sealing the grim task with chilling finality. Gareth guides Snow White towards the ominous entrance of the Whispering Woods, each step into the shadows deepening her apprehension. Snow White's wide, fearful eyes search Gareth's face, silently pleading for reassurance in the face of the encroaching darkness. The dense canopy above casts long, distorted shadows that dance around them, amplifying Snow White's growing terror. Gareth halts, his resolve faltering as he gazes at Snow White, the weight of his grim task pressing heavily on his conscience. A visible inner struggle plays across Gareth's face, his loyalty and duty locked in a fierce battle against his empathy. He glances back towards the sunlit path they've left behind, a poignant reminder of the innocence he is about to abandon. Deep within the whispering woods, Gareth releases Snow White, his face etched with a painful decision. He whispers, his voice a low, urgent plea against the backdrop of rustling leaves. "Run. Don't look back." Gareth turns sharply, the steel of his blade glinting under the dappled sunlight, a silent promise of protection. With brutal efficiency, he slays a wild boar, the forest echoing with the sounds of the swift, savage encounter. His face grim, Gareth claims the boar's heart, a dark offering in the heart of the ancient woods. He holds the prize aloft, a stark symbol of sacrifice and survival amidst the whispering trees. Days later, in the heart of the whispering woods, Snow White stumbles, utterly lost. The dense trees loom over her, their branches heavy with snow, casting long, eerie shadows. Exhaustion etches lines of fear on her face as she pushes through the undergrowth, each step heavy with despair. Weakness grips her, and each breath mists in the frigid air, a testament to her dwindling strength. Afraid and alone, she clutches her thin cloak tighter, a solitary figure swallowed by the vast, indifferent woods. As dusk descends, Snow White stumbles upon a quaint cottage, a beacon of warmth in the fading light. Smoke curls lazily from the chimney, casting dancing shadows that stretch and sway across the twilight sky. Hesitantly, she approaches the aged wooden door, her silhouette framed by the tranquil twilight. With bated breath, Snow White knocks softly, the sound barely audible against the backdrop of the encroaching night. The dwarf's cottage glows softly in the night, the interior bathed in the flickering light of a crackling fireplace. 7 weary dwarfs, each etched with the hardships of the diamond mine, trudge into their humble abode. Their tired faces reflect the dim light, highlighting their unique features and personalities. A collective gasp ripples through the group as their eyes fall upon an unexpected sight. Snow White lies sleeping peacefully on a chair, an innocent slumber amidst the rustic setting. Sunlight floods the cozy dwarf's cottage, illuminating swirling dust motes in the air. Snow White, her face glowing with warmth, hums a cheerful melody as she scrubs the sturdy wooden table. Fragrant steam rises from pots simmering on the hearth, filling the small cottage with a comforting aroma. The 7 dwarfs, once wary, now observe Snow White with softened eyes, their suspicion melting away. Dwalin, his long gray beard cascading down his chest, offers Snow White a gentle, approving smile. In her private chamber, Queen Mirelle stands before an ornate mirror, moonlight carving shadows that deepen the lines of concern on her face. Her voice laced with dark realization, she whispers, "Snow White lives with the 7 dwarfs." Mirelle's reflection seems to mock her words, twisting her features into a mask of fury. In a burst of unrestrained rage, she sweeps her hand across the table, sending a delicate vase crashing to the floor, its shattered pieces mirroring her fractured composure. Amidst the bubbling chaos of her laboratory, Queen Mirelle's eyes gleam with fierce determination. She begins the transformative incantation, her voice resonating with ancient power as the air crackles around her. Her regal features begin to shift and contort, a visible metamorphosis taking hold. The transformation culminates as the queen's youthful beauty fades, replaced by the wrinkles and knowing eyes of a wizened woman. Mirelle is no more. In her place stands a peddler woman, a mischievous glint sparkling in her aged eyes. Outside the dwarf's cottage, the peddler woman, Mirelle in disguise, extends her hand, a delicate silken lace shimmering in the sunlight. Mirelle's eyes gleam with false kindness as she presents the gift to Snow White. "A gift, my dear, for your beauty." Mirelle purrs, her voice dripping with deceit. Snow White reaches out, captivated by the lace's beauty, unaware of the danger it holds. As Snow White fastens the lace around her neck, a sudden, sinister tightening begins. The lace constricts, cutting off her airway, her eyes widening in terror as she realizes the trap. The dwarfs surge into their cottage, worry twisting their faces as they rush towards Snow White. They find her still and lifeless, a stark silence filling the small room. Frantic hands work to loosen the constricting lace around her bodice, a desperate attempt to revive her. Hope wanes as the seconds stretch into an eternity of dread. Suddenly, Snow White gasps, a rush of air filling her lungs as life returns. Queen Mirelle, face contorted with rage, frantically mixes ingredients in a bubbling cauldron, brewing a dark transformation. The potion glows ominously as she adds the final component, a harbinger of dreadful change. Mirelle swallows the concoction in one gulp. A visible wave of dark energy surges through her. Her youthful features wither and wrinkle, as before the eyes, she transforms into an aged, decrepit old crone. Outside the dwarf's cottage, Mirelle, an aged crone, presents Snow White with an ornate comb, her eyes gleaming with false kindness. "A magic comb to enhance your beauty," Mirelle croons, her voice a deceptive melody in the forest air. Snow White accepts the comb, her fingers brushing against Mirelle's gnarled hand. Almost immediately, Snow White's eyes flutter closed, her body succumbing to a deep, enchanted slumber as she slumps lifelessly to the ground. The dwarf's cottage is bathed in a dim, flickering light, casting long shadows that dance with the unspoken fears of its inhabitants. Snow White stirs, her eyelids fluttering open like a butterfly emerging from its chrysalis. Relief washes over the faces of the seven dwarfs, etched with the memory of their desperate vigil. Their eyes meet, sharing a silent acknowledgement of the darkness they have faced and the peril that still lurks. A sense of grim determination settles upon them, a resolve to protect the princess from the queen's malice. The weight of the queen's evil intentions hangs heavy in the air, a palpable threat to their newfound peace. In her laboratory, Mirelle's eyes gleam with wicked intent. Before her sits an apple, a grotesque masterpiece, one half a vibrant, tempting red, the other a sickly, ominous green. Mirelle delicately rotates the apple, her twisted admiration palpable in the silent chamber. A declaration of dark triumph escapes her lips. This will be the end of her. Beneath the cheerful facade of the dwarf's cottage, a sinister figure lurks, Mirelle cloaked in a wretched disguise. Her gnarled hand extends, offering a seemingly innocent apple to Snow White. "A simple apple, dearie," Mirelle croons, her voice dripping with false sweetness. "A taste of sweetness." Snow White hesitates, a flicker of doubt in her eyes, as she considers the offered fruit. Against all caution, she takes a fateful bite, the apple's rosy exterior concealing deadly intent. Her eyes flutter, her body collapses, and Snow White falls lifeless to the ground. The poisoned apple's work complete. Years later, Prince Caius, dressed for the hunt, strides deep into the ancient Whispering Woods, where sunlight dapples the forest floor. He stops, drawn by an ethereal sight, a clearing where a glass coffin rests silently among the trees. Inside the crystal enclosure, Snow White lies in peaceful slumber, untouched by time. Caius approaches, his eyes widening in awe, utterly captivated by her otherworldly beauty. At the altar, Snow White and Prince Caius radiate pure joy, their happiness a beacon in the grand castle. The crowd is a sea of faces, all eyes drawn to the couple, save for one, Queen Mirelle. Her mask now gone, Mirelle's face is a canvas of hatred and defeat, a stark contrast to the surrounding joy. Two guards drag in red-hot iron shoes, their ominous presence silencing the once jubilant crowd. Mirelle is forced to wear the burning shoes, her dance a desperate, frantic struggle against her fate. She collapses, lifeless. Her final act a grim spectacle as Snow White and Caius share a look of solemn understanding.